My name is Teresa Liu from the Secretariat of Asian Bankers Association, the ABA. I will be your MC today. On behalf of the ABA, Rizal Commercial Banking Corporation, and Hatton National Bank, allow me to welcome you to today's online gathering. Thank you very much for your kind presence in this year's virtual 38th ABA General Meeting and Conference with the theme, Redefining the Future of Banking Through Digital Transformation. We are now ready to officially open this event. To begin the opening ceremony, may I invite ABA Chairman, Mr. Eugene Acevedo, to give the welcome statement. Mr. Acevedo, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Teresa. Members of the ABA Advisory Council, members of the ABA Board of Directors, fellow ABA members and bankers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Asian Bankers Association, I am pleased to welcome all of you to today's 38th ABA conference, which we are once again holding virtually due to the COVID-19 epidemic, which unfortunately continues to linger, although in a less serious scale, since its onset in early 2020. Thank you very much for participating in this important event. Indeed, the times have remained challenging for many economies worldwide. For banks in particular, the pandemic has generated multifaceted crises that have threatened their performance, survival, and growth in many developing countries, particularly in those where banks play a dominant role in the economy. While many banking institutions have successfully navigated the immediate pressures of the pandemic, they're also aware that how they respond to the still ongoing crisis will determine how they will successfully rebuild for the future. Providing support to their customers remains crucial moving forward. And this will require banks to deploy the tools that they have developed over the past decade or so to lead a coherent and extensive response to mostly uncharted territory. This will require banks to refocus on really understanding their customers' needs and in parallel, adapting their operating models and ways of working to ensure the best efficiency and resiliency measures that will result in an agile organization to help them weather the recovery and attain sustainable growth. The global economy is becoming increasingly digitalized, and some of the emerging technologies have the potential to be truly transformative, even as they pose new challenges. Asia is already a leader in many aspects of the digital revolution, but to remain at the cutting edge and reap the full benefits from technological advances, policy responses will be needed in many areas, including artificial intelligence, information and communication technology, and of course, banking and finance. I believe that today, more than ever, industries and banks in particular need to break new ground in innovation-driven development. After years of fairly fast growth, Asian countries now face the challenge of shifting from old drivers of growth to new ones, and we must rely on innovation to foster the latter. As the new round of global technological revolution and industrial transformation unfolds, we must seize the opportunities and tap into our advantages in human capital and market potential to intensify cooperation on innovation and accelerate the upgrading of the banking sector. We need to make our business environment open, clear the way for the unimpeded flow of factors of innovation, and share innovation resources and outcomes, setting the stage for the steady progress of Asia's development. Helping customers and businesses recover means helping them focus on productive economic activity. Banking must be a seamless enabler of that activity. This means enabling customers and businesses to manage their financial needs in the right way. And increasingly, that means digitally. For a long time, banks have tried to drive digital adoption due to its benefits for both the customer and the banks. Some markets have showed greater success than others. The closure of branches and offices in the wake of COVID-19 has forced a shift to digital services from account opening to mortgage applications. Processes demanding physical signatures, for example, now allow digital signing. The recent Future Consumer Index of Ernst & Young has revealed that 43% of consumers now say that the way they bank has changed, with 17% revealing it has changed significantly. Up to 47% of respondents say that they are using contactless payments more, and almost a third have increased the use of cards and online payments. Our conference this year will hopefully provide us the opportunity to examine how various challenges and trends we are seeing today are coming together to influence the future of banking. I therefore expect that we will have an interesting and productive exchange of views on these important issues. And I look forward to everyone's active participation in today's discussions. In closing, I would like to once again thank all the session speakers and panelists for being with us today and in the next several days. With their valuable insights on the issues at hand and the inputs from all delegates, the deliberations that will take place during this year's conference will be a great learning for us all. Thank you, and may we all have a fruitful and productive conference ahead of us. Teresa, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Acevedo. The opening ceremony has now come to an end, and we are ready to begin with the conference proper and proceed with session 1, which will focus on the topic, the digital transformation journey. May we now invite Chairman of Session 1, Mr. Jonathan Alice, Managing Director and CEO, Hatton National Bank, and also the Chairman of ABA Advisory Council, to please take the floor. Mr. Alice.
Thank you very much, Teresa. A very good day, good afternoon to all of you. And again, a warm welcome to our plenary session 1 on day 1 of this 38th ABA conference. We've got a most appropriate theme in terms of the future of banking through digital transformation, and clearly articulated by our current chairman in his opening remarks. And to support the theme, we have got an equally appropriate topic to begin. And that topic is the digital transformation journey. And we have got 3 eminent speakers to present 3 distinct presentations from Taiwan, from Bhutan, and from India. Different sizes of banks and different stages of their evolution of digital transformation. A lot that can be actually garnered, gathered, learned during this time with regard to the insights, how they went about it, the process, the business model changes, the security requirements, how much data is applied, product innovation, how do they get the people rallied around, the culture transformation that is required. Equally important, how did they manage the change management process and the project management? All exciting insights that you're about to learn from these eminent speakers. In terms of preamble, as alluded to by our current chairman, it's tough times globally. People are talking of recession. People are talking of, very, very low growth in some cases. You're looking at various challenges impacting, the banking systems throughout the world, impairments, maybe lack of, growth, supply chain challenges. And amidst that, the need on low income, low revenue, the need to tighten, your costs, but at the same time, be able to meet the increasingly changing behaviors of customers and the demanding behaviors of our customers who want probably, more conveniences to be able to, do their banking from home, do their banking from office and do it while on the fly rather than having to make, specific visits to branches, etc. So in terms of, we have also seen now, right now, banks are up against challenges with digital banks who have actually come through changing customer behavior and their relationships and how they want to engage with us, the high transaction costs in branches, limited customer onboarding, scalability within branch networks, technology resource retention challenges, and there's a great opportunity to monetize the wealth of data that banks possess, which hitherto they have not, done so. And these all augur for very exciting times, notwithstanding the external environment, how we can actually bring in digital in order to satisfy our customers, still deliver a great experience and the products and services that they require, while making sure that our middle officers and back officers remain stable, strong in order to support them. Without stealing the thunder of my eminent speakers, I'd like to move on to our first speaker for the afternoon, and that is Dr. Paul Chung-Dar Lei, the chairman of Taiwan Cooperative Financial Holding Company, and also its subsidiary, the Taiwan Cooperative Bank, one of the largest banks in Taiwan with nearly 300 domestic and overseas branches. Currently, Dr. Lei is also one of the executive directors of Central Bank and the chairman of the Bankers Association of Taiwan. He was selected as one of Taiwan's top 100 CEOs in the global traditional Chinese version of the 2020 Harvard Business Review. Prior to joining the TCB, Dr. Lei was an executive director of Central American Bank of Economic Integration, Director General of the Finance Bureau of the city government, Chairman of Central Deposit Insurance Corporation, and Advisor of International Cooperation and Development Fund. Dr. Lei holds a PhD and a master's degree in economics from Cornell University. He also attended National Cheng Chi University for his MA in international trade. Without further ado, I hand over the reins to Dr. Paul Chung-Dar Lei for your presentation on embracing digital transformation, shaping the banking future. Over to you, Dr. Paul.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Paul Lei, Chairman of Taiwan Cooperative Bank, and it is my great pleasure to be here with you all. Today, I would like to share with you some of our experiences at TCB regarding the issue of digital transformation. My presentation will take about 20 minutes. It includes 4 parts. First, the introduction. Secondly, I will look at the evolution in technology and bank digitalization and how these two developments are complementary. Thirdly, I will talk about the digital transformation of the banking industry from the past to the future. And finally, the conclusion. Now, the introduction. I will begin to look at 6 major challenges faced by Taiwan's financial industry. A survey made by PricewaterhouseCoopers to Taiwan's financial industry CEOs in 2022 concludes that there are 6 major challenges faced by them. Those are climate changes, ESG, net zero carbon emissions, M-shaped divergence between old and new economies, financial market fluctuation caused by the war in Ukraine, interest rate hikes, and inflation, and intensive regulation updates, as well as the overturned systems by digital technology. Among these challenges, the disrupted financial market, frequent updates of financial regulations, and subversion of systems by digital technology have actually accelerated the usage of fintech by financial institutions in Taiwan. And this enabled their business to move faster while being cost efficient and resilient. At the same time, a survey conducted by Gartner, a technology and advisory company, to more than 400 global CEOs, point out that pursuing growth is still the top priority for business leaders in 2022, and technology application, including digital transformation and e-commerce, ranked the second. Being profoundly affected by the pandemic, geopolitics, and climate changes, almost all industries speed up digital development. However, for financial service leaders, though 52% of them also care very much about the company goals, an even higher percentage of 55% emphasize the utilization of technology, and technology investment will facilitate their digital transformation and enable them to sustain market position. Therefore, we would say that in the view of global CEOs of all industries, especially those of the financial industry, digital transformation is their most important job. Now, let's move on to the second part of my presentation, the evolution in technology and bank digitalization and how these two developments are complementary. In this part, there are 3 areas I would like to look at. 1, technical changes and advancements in finance. The first iPhone came out in 2007, and by 2022, mobile phones have become essential parts of our daily life. We can basically use most of the services on the smartphone, such as YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Google, camera, GPS and maps, and online games. Nowadays, the smartphone can be carried everywhere, integrating most of the financial services, such as ATM card, credit card, biometric authentication, and mobile payments. Most of the financial transactions, such as money transfers or bill payments, can now be completed without visiting physical branches of banks. And I would say that today we could not live without the smartphone. Second, technologies that drive digital transformation. In 2013, Gartner introduced the nexus of forces, which generated from mobility, cloud, social media, and big data, and which create whole new business opportunities. Companies must stay on the top of technology trends to be able to keep pace with the concept of effective management. In 2016, Gartner forecasted the digital technology platform, a new type of framework that supports digital and computing services, such as the containerized and IoT architecture. The rigid and closed systems of the past can now be integrated within platforms. In 2022, Gartner called our attention to the importance of composable business, a highly flexible operation model for sales and technology modules to withstand the post-pandemic year. Taking bill payment services of bank, for example, in the past, banks provide different technical specifications for different companies. And now, using the technical specification of common module standards, they can provide flexible combinations for different companies in a much shorter development time. In the future, by expediting the process of digitalization and building more digital business applications, it is predictable that banks will accelerate AI automation, expand immersive experiences, and utilize more cloud computing. Third, combining finance and technologies for transformation strategies. In the digital development journey of TCB in recent years, we have strived to enhance our digital businesses and advance digital service values by following transformation strategies. Create organizational innovation culture and expand talent capital. Apply suitable digital strategies and business models. Utilize technologies with flexibility. Use benefit cost analysis in technology investments. Manage cybersecurity and compliance issues. Provide best customer experiences and product services. Two of its major products demonstrate how TCB apply fintech into its digital services. One, the bank app. Through big data analysis technology, the app provides financial services which our customers value the most, including mobile payments, money transfers, biometric authentication, customized push notification. It also integrates with open banking third-party services providers, offering fee payment functions for government, medical, and long-term care institutions. Two, the AI wealth management robot, iCooper. It is a service that TCB uses to support our customers in their fund investment decision-making. By that, we enhance their confidence and trust to the bank. Now, let's move on to the third part of my presentation. In this part, there are 5 areas I would like to address based on our experiences at TCB. 1. The cornerstone of digital transformation for TCB. There are 4 cornerstones of TCB digital transformation, which are data-driven, key technology application, talent capital in digital collaboration, and innovation culture. To show its strong determination in digital transformation, TCB carried out several organizational changes in recent years. It set up the Digital Business Committee in 2021. In addition, it organized the yearly Core Inspiring Camp since 2018 and established a core lab and innovation laboratory in 2019 to foster its organizational innovation culture. Second, driving digital transformation by Digital Business Committee. In 2021, the Digital Business Committee was set up in TCB to drive the digital transformation. It is mainly responsible for fulfilling the organizational digital finance development of the bank. With top-down full support and the form of committee, it enabled agile, close departmental communication and collaboration. 3 major annual digital projects were introduced by the committee in 2022, which are 1. Business process automation. We're using RPA, robotic process automation technology, to streamline our operation procedures, such as client credit investigation and appraisal of collaterals. TCB used RPAs in its 270 local branches and effectively reduced the employees' daily workload and the cost. And by 2023, it will utilize more than 100 RPAs in its document processing procedures. 2. Open banking strategic blueprint. Based on big data analysis, TCB developed data-driven API to cope with current and future business scenarios and design various open banking ecosystems. With this project, it draws its open banking strategic blueprint. 3. Talent empowerment program. With this training program, TCB can enhance the digital capability of its employees. By using key technologies, independent project management method, and agile cross-departmental collaboration, TCB can accelerate its process of digital transformation. Third, fostering innovation culture by inspiring camp and lab. Besides counseling, train, and educate our employees to improve their digital capabilities, we have begun to hold the yearly inspiring camp since 2018. I myself host the event and encourage our senior managers and employees to brainstorm together to come up with innovative ideas about business development, system and platform upgrades, operation procedures optimization, and corporate image enhancement. Since the launch, we have adopted more than 250 proposals, and more than 80% of them have been put into force. In 2019, the Core Lab Innovation Laboratory was further established to inspire ideas about possible innovative applications of fintech through the interaction and discussion among multi-background team members, and thus accelerate our digitalization process. Four major goals of its establishment are empowering our employees, linking their innovative ideas, creating innovative values of our bank, and improving our customers' experiences. In respect of improving customer experiences, certain related guidelines were formulated and four main themes were set, namely core family, core charge, core create, and core travel. We wish to make our digital customer to feel warm, feel empowered, feel inspired, and feel relaxed while using our digital channel services. The Core Lab was affiliated with the Digital Business Committee in 2021. According to the report from the Intellectual Property Office in Taiwan, TCB has obtained more than 360 fintech patents so far and has been listed in the top 100 institutional patent applicants for 4 consecutive years. It was even ranked as high as the 18th among all in 2022. Fourth, digital transformation changes the future financial model. The present banking operation distinguishes digital systems into front, middle, and the back offices by business characters. As shown in the figure, if a customer wants to apply for a business in a bank, he or she needs to interact with the staff in several departments of the bank and by different interfaces. The arrow in the middle shows that in the process of digitalization, banks use new flexible business models, carefully evaluate and control risks such as emergent risk, cybersecurity risks, and through cloud-based remote work and fusing team framework to pursue organizational growth. In the future, under the new financial model, the bank apps or third-party service providers apps will break the old business boundaries, such as individual, corporate, deposit, and loans, and provide financial services to the customers. Fifth, two most important future financial trends. In this digital development, there are 2 most important future financial trends worth mentioning. 1, banking as a platform. Banks extend cash flows or product services through different platform operators to provide customers with financial services by various apps. 2, open banking ecosystem. Under the scenario of technology combination and stacking application, customers do not need to contact directly with banks. They can still enjoy instant financial services of different ecosystem businesses. Okay, that's all I want to say about the digital transformation of the banking industry from the past to the future. And that brings me to the end of my presentation. But before I finish, I would like to conclude with some final thoughts. Sustainable journey of digital transformation. Among the trends from physical to digital, the banking industry has seen the booming development of IoE, AI, metaverse, and cloud computing industries. In order to cope with the trends, banks have to embed innovation culture in their organizational DNA, utilize diverse new technologies such as immersive experiences, AI, platform, and cloud technologies. 3, promote agile collaborations of internal teams with mature digital capability and sufficient resources. 4, communicate directly with the type of stakeholders, including customers, employees, vendors, and consultants, and get their feedbacks. And in my view, if banks such as TCB can manage all these 4 aspects of digital transformation, then I believe our banks will be able to create sustainability and core prosperity in the digital development journey. Thank you very much for listening.
Very big thank you. That was a great presentation. You went into a lot of detail in order to talk about the preparation, change management, project management, and how much you had to get your team together and the labs that you put in place and how much attention you paid to work with the customers in kind of onboarding them as making them part of this journey was truly inspiration and probably worth for all to take on board. I'm going to probably leave you for a while and then get you back on the Q&A, Doctor. But now we move on to our second eminent speaker, and that is Mr. Dorji Kadin, the CEO of the Bank of Bhutan, who's been the CEO for the past 3 years and more, and prior to that, having taken on the roles of Chief Strategy Officer, Chief Financial Officer, Director Corporate Services at the Bank of Bhutan, and before that, spending time with Bhutan Telecom in various senior management capacities, in addition to being a board of director in a few institutions and an external examiner and a board of director of Financial Institutions Training Institute as well. Mr. Dorji Kadin has a MBA from the Asian Institute of Management, Manila, Philippines. In addition, a postgraduate diploma in international business from Flinders University of South Australia, and a Bachelor of Commerce from Bhutan itself, affiliated to Delhi University in India. Without further ado, Dorji Kadin, the floor is now all yours.
And very good afternoon to all ABA members and the distinguished guests here present for today's very important and very interesting discussion. So before I begin, my name is Dorji Kadin, and like Chairman introduced, I'm working for Bank of Bhutan, and you can see the background picture of my presentation where our office is located. That is the main corporate office of Bank of Bhutan. Basically, I think it's a very good opportunity for Bank of Bhutan to present to the distinguished members here on our journey in terms of digital transformation, or just the digital journey that we have been experiencing for the past decade or so. So unlike Dr. Chew's presentation, I don't have the detailed data to share to the participants here. And what I'll do is I'll just run through the actual journey that BOB had in terms of trying to provide the digital services to the people in the country. Before I start, I would like to bring this context to all the participants that Bhutan is a very small country located between India and China, and we are located in the Himalayan region. As you can see here, I will briefly touch upon the country's brief background to provide the context, and after that probably about Bank of Bhutan, and towards the end about where we are in terms of trying to digitize the banking services in the country. Briefly talking or touching upon the country, we are located, like I mentioned earlier, in the Himalayas, and our country started opening to the international visitors since 1974. And since then, we have been following the high value, low volume tourism policy. And recently, the government decided that we have to promote tourism. And in order to do that, we have started increasing the fee for the tourists coming to Bhutan from the USD 65 to USD 200 a day. That is basically to preserve the I think the high value, low volume tourism policy of the country. And about Bank of Bhutan, now we have been in the banking industry since 1968, and we have been acting as the Central Bank of Bhutan till 1982, wherein in 1982 the current central bank, the Royal Monetary Authority of Bhutan, was established, and till that time BOB was also acting as the central bank, and we are the oldest and the largest commercial bank as of today. Maybe covering about more than 50% of the whole country's market. Traditionally, like I mentioned earlier, we used to have, I think everybody, all the banks went through this, and then we have been using all these traditional banking systems or the processes in place, and we had very few customers then, so those were okay. But we started towards late 1990s to somewhat maybe digitize the way that we conduct business, and that was the time when the BOB introduced the standalone core banking system in each of the branches, called the Brook Banker. And during those times, I think challenges that we used to face were very enormous in terms of the time taken to do the banking transaction, getting the accurate data, and so many errors. So those were the challenges that we used to face, and I'm sure all the banks had to go through this. And then we realized that, okay, it is time for us to maybe try to see if we are ready for providing the digital services to our clients. And that was the time when we started the actual core banking system, which we are using today, since late 2008-9, and then we are I think we were getting ready to digitize the whole banking process then. And on top of that, we were also trying to see if we could be ready for Industry 4 revolution, Banking 4 revolution. And because of COVID, I would say that we could somehow get more participation in terms of providing digital banking services or accessing digital banking services by the clients, because we were trying to see if people could avail the banking services by sitting at their home, and then providing the most convenient ways of doing the banking from home. And as you can see later on, people started, I think, trusting the digital banking services since 2017-18, but I think the majority happened towards after the pandemic in 20 and 21. So while we were preparing for digitization, we introduced, like I mentioned, the core banking system, the centralized system in 2009. And after that, slowly we started introducing internet banking, ATMs, point of sale services, cards services, and mobile banking services. And the latest that we introduced was the wallet in 2021. So this is the whole journey that we are trying to showcase to the audience here. We started mobile banking in 2015, and since then, as you could see in the graph, the trend has been more than 100% every year in terms of transactions, in terms of value that is transacted through the digital banking channels. So it's very encouraging. I think the recent was in 2021, where we had a huge increase in the digital transactions, and that is mainly triggered because of the unfortunate pandemic that we had to go through. While these were the I think good news that we had in terms of trying to get the customers onboarded into the digital services. We also had to go through so many challenges in the process, and one very particular and pertinent challenge was in terms of the adopting the technology, and also choosing the right partner to take us through this digital initiatives. Since Bhutan is a small country, it is very difficult for us to get the right partner in the country, and then we had to depend for most of the solutions with the vendors from outside the country, and particularly with India and the nearby Asian region. And that has been that is still the major concern that we have, and we are still not able to think or get the right partner, because Bank of Bhutan is a very small bank, and then to get the right partner is one of the major challenges that we still face. And the other thing is HR capacity or competency building is a major challenge, because if we try to build in-house, it's very difficult for us to invest in building the HR capacity. And if we try to bring in from the outside, it's getting quite expensive. So we are not able to find the right fit solution to manage these kind of challenges. And of course, being a small country, it's very difficult for us to get the right fintech partner from the country, and then we have to again try to go out of the country to explore the best fit fintech partner. So on the other hand, the demand from customers is increasing every time now, because the customers are getting more literate, more financially literate, and more literate in the digital awareness. So those are the challenges that we have to keep on expecting from our clients, and also trying to see how we can manage those kind of challenges. So other than this, here in this presentation, what I'm trying to showcase is just the whole journey of BOB since the start of the bank in 1968 till date. So you can see that we started our main CBS in 2009, and after that we started the whole digital journey, but in a very small way. And the major digital initiative happened in 2015, where from where we started our e-payment gateway and mobile banking solutions. And from there we started acquiring our customers, or onboarding our customers to adopt to the digital services. But one of the challenges that we faced again, which I forgot to mention earlier, is the trust and confidence of the people to use mobile or digital services, because I think we are talking here about money management, and people didn't have that kind of confidence to use mobile for the payment services and other banking services, because of the insecurity that they were having, or they were perceiving during those times. And the recent one, 2022 service is the BOBIT, which is the inward remittance service that we started for our Bhutanese residents residing outside the country. So overall future, we're not sure whether we are ready or not to really transform the whole banking services into the digital platform. But I would like to mention here that we are trying to explore on where we are as of now in terms of digitizing or transforming the banking services in the country, so that our people feel convenient and they get the comfort of banking from their home, like other countries do. And while doing that, we are assessing on the readiness of BOB in terms of our infrastructure, in terms of our human capacity, in terms of HR capacity, and other areas of importance on taking or introducing more digital services in the country. And our future objective is to see if BOB can be considered as a fully digital bank in another 5 years down the line. And if we can make people feel that the banking is there in their fingertips every day, 24/7, so that they don't have to worry about any of the banking services wherever they are, and then make them feel that banking is part of their life. And we see quite a lot of challenges, but we hope that we will reach there where we are trying to aspire, or where we are aspiring to be in another 5 years. It's a long way, but we definitely hope that our aspiration is going to come true soon. And with this, I think this is the end of my presentation, and thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity. I didn't have much of data to add, because I purposely thought that I'll just run through the whole journey of the Bank of Bhutan, and then try to picturize in the audience mindset to make people understand where we are, what we are doing, so that during the discussion points, I thought that we will get more of value addition insights from the participants to prepare for better future of BOB. With this, thank you very much for your wonderful opportunity.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kadin. Again, another insightful presentation highlighting the challenges, a small country, small economy, but yet with great aspirations. How do you weather the challenges with regard to people, vendors, and at what pace do you actually accelerate, given you've got to journey with your customers? I will probably engage a little later on the Q&A and probably get more insights from you on your journey, Mr. Dorji, Kadin. Now we move on to our final eminent speaker for the day. And we have with us, and we are fortunate to have with us, Ms. Vidya Krishnan, Deputy Managing Director and CIO, State Bank of India. Ms. Krishnan has worked in various assignments during her long and distinguished banking career exceeding 3 decades. She has immense experience in digital banking while working as General Manager E-Commerce and the Digital Initiative, as well as Senior General Manager in Strategy and Digital Banking. Currently, Ms. Krishnan is heading SBI's Global IT Center as Deputy Managing Director and CIO with effect from 1st of July. And Ms. Krishnan, Vidya, will cover of the entire SBI digital transformation journey, how they went about it in terms of a process, the impact and what it has delivered, and how they plan to build on it for the future. Again, without further ado, I hand you over now to Ms. Vidya Krishnan. Over to you, Vidya.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much for having me here. I come from State Bank of India, which is the which is the largest bank in India in terms of deposits, liabilities, assets, liabilities, the network, the employees. We have over 2 lakh employees. We have a balance sheet size of nearly 70 trillion rupees, which would come to around around 800 and odd billion US dollars. And so what is it that we look at when we embarked on the digital transformation journey at the bank? Yeah, so this is something about us. Our customer base of 460 million, we have around 22,000 physical touch points. Beyond that, we have around 52,000 ATMs. We work through banking correspondence for our financial inclusion, for ensuring that we reach out as much as possible. We have market shares of 22% on deposits and 19% on loans. And we started our internet banking way back in 2001. We've completed 20 years. And we have around 80 million users on our internet banking platform. We have a large amount of our banking done through alternate channels. And we also have 15% market share in POS. Of course, we are the first number one as far as internet banking is concerned, and also the 5th most visited banking site globally. So what is it that drives our ambition to be digital, and where are we at this point in time? Very happy to share with you. So what were the strategic objectives that drove our digital transformation that we embarked upon sometime in 2016? We tried to do it a little differently. We wanted to deliver a distinctive customer experience. We wanted to look at omni-channel journeys. We wanted to leverage the best technology that is available. We wanted to integrate our joint venture products also. So we wanted to leverage our strengths, our customer base, our group synergies, our presence. And what were the fears? Did we really have fears? Well, we were keen that there should be no slide downs. And we were very, very keen that we must understand millennials at their preferences, their bias towards lifetime experiences, and see how we can play a role there. So how do we convert our vintage to vantage? This we decided through a targeted, how we could give a targeted value proposition for growing millennials. And then it was about the market share and the productivity gains and the efficiencies. A very important part of this journey was we decided to give our customers a bank on their palm, on their mobile. So our digital transformation was through YONO, which meant that you only need one, which was the best way to leverage our group synergies. And we came out with 4 pillars. One was a digital bank, which would offer omni-channel, seamless omni-channel experience. The other was a financial superstore through which we would sell our the products of our joint venture partners, essentially on investments, the broking subsidiary, the card subsidiary, the insurance subsidiary. So how we could do that, and then how we could partner with e-com players to get them onto our online marketplace. As I said, it was vintage to vantage and wanted to leverage our physical touch points of 22,000 branches as well as our ATMs. So it was imperative that we also retool our branches to improve productivity and reduce the cost of our branch operations. So this was the digital transformation that we set out to do through YONO. While doing this, we put innovation ahead, and we wanted to do something that was different. YONO did create those firsts in the market. One was YONO Cash, where we said that the customer will be able to withdraw from an ATM without any cards. So directly using the mobile. So this was a super hit. And it was the first time ever. The biggest benefits out of this was, of course, the cost of plastic. But more than anything, it was we could address the issues, the security issues around cloning of cards and several other risks that card-based ATM transactions carried with them. Another thing that we did was, for a bank, we were the first to come out with shopping festivals. We had festivals with Amazon. In fact, we brought in all the large e-com players and conducted a festival to create synergies for all of us and ensure that we got more and more new to banking customers, especially since our focus was on the millennials. So these were some very, very successful firsts that we are really proud to mention. And we didn't stop at that. The brand YONO began expanding its frontiers. And we also were keen on leveraging basically our forte, that is as the oldest bank with 216 years of presence. We wanted to do something for our farmers community and the agriculturists, and we wanted to bring them into the ambit of formal banking and see how we could reach out with new products. So we came out with YONO Krishi. Krishi in Hindi means agriculture, it means farming. And we came out with a product, a YONO Krishi for them, which had products like the credit cards for farmers, special credit cards for farmers. We also had a marketplace where farmers could procure their inputs, as well as advisory, where there could be knowledge. Then we also came out with our services under the brand and umbrella of YONO. We came out with YONO Business. We rolled it out successfully. YONO Business was based on a microservices architecture, a service-oriented architecture, tried to make it as plug and play, and as much as what business would require, created avenues for host-to-host integration, adopted newer methodologies for development. And this is how we looked at the whole banking service needs of our large corporates. We also launched YONO Global, which was the Forex part of it for our customers who were outside of the country. So that was, we launched it in 9 countries. So while YONO Global was on the mobile, YONO Business was both on the mobile as well as on the web. And we continue to expand on all these, that is the YONO Retail, the YONO Agri, the YONO Business, as well as the YONO Global. What is it that that differentiated the way in which we approached this whole the whole digital transformation under the brand YONO? We had to look at it a little differently. So we actually created dedicated teams, procured the agile toolkits and the ways of working. We had to actually look beyond our existing resources and get special resources. This was also the time when data governance and regulatory compliances as far as digital was concerned was taking, where the regulators were also very active and helping us along the way. And more than anything, this also required that we recreate a new tech stack. And we did all of this. And providing the additional support to our channels, self-serve channels, we also upgraded our contact center. And while that is still, we still continue to work on our contact center, we did work on the integrated banking platform, where we could offer the same services across our channels. and also started working on our payment solutions, where we could offer all payment solutions to our customers through our channels. While talking about payment solutions, we must mention the kind of developments and the kind of innovations that have been happening in India as far as the payment space is concerned. I'm sure all of us have heard about the Unified Payment Interface, or the UPI, which is an interoperable platform which allows instantaneous transfer of funds, even between banks. So this helped us, the use of virtual ID, etc. All this, the way in which the ecosystem in India was developing, also helped us create newer products by being part of these innovations. And we spoke about the agri, we spoke about business, we spoke about global, ultimately, what were the early successes? Well, it did give us a lot of early successes, which is evident from the new customers that we had acquired on the digital platform, where we succeeded in migrating as well as onboarding. We had around 22.7 million accounts opened. Not only that, our objective of leveraging our group synergies were extremely successful in the asset management business that the bank does, but more evidently in the kind of insurance policy or the personal accident insurances. Not only that, we also sold life insurance policies. Our credit card subsidiary, we were able to source credit card businesses for our subsidiaries through our channel, through the YONO. Not only that, we were able to create value for our partners on the online marketplace. And more than anything, if there's something that really kind of distinguishes YONO, it is the pre-approved, end-to-end digitized, the pre-approved personal loans and the pre-approved business loans that were a super hit. In fact, we have disbursed close to 7,000 crores, which is 700 million rupees. And that is a high amount, and we still have only scraped the surface. As we continue to, our ambitions for YONO have only increased. So this has helped us look forward to the future with a great deal of confidence. So what is the road ahead? The road ahead is leverage India stack to the maximum. The identity through the Aadhaar, payments through the UPI. We also have open banking now through the account aggregation mechanism, and looking at democratizing, India is looking at democratizing commerce too. And I'm sure we'll be able to play a very, very important role in all these endeavors of the government of India, especially for deeper penetration into the hinterlands, and more than anything, for our SMEs who will be part of the formal economy, which would create win-win situations for all players. Another very important change that we observe is the emergence of fintechs. And we see many fintechs in India. In fact, India is known, Bangalore in India is known for young entrepreneurs setting up companies. And we have several that have actually very fast scaled up to become unicorns. So the YONO that we would like going ahead would be one that's a lot more collaborative, which can work along with fintechs for better outreach, as well as for faster growth. While we do that, we are cognizant of the cyber security requirements, the kind of challenges that we are facing there, as well as the data privacy norms, which are all regulatory. And we ensure that we take this up, and our platforms are as secure. So our investments, as well as our focus on cybersecurity and data privacy, using tools around the AI ML for security. So this is ongoing. It's a journey, and very well into it and committed to going further there. Again, continuing with the latest micro services architecture, open banking, and the whole idea is to offer a hyper-personalized service. As Dr. Dar said, the future is going to be all around RPA and banking as a service, etc. So the kind of partnerships and collaborations, as well as leveraging the ecosystem enablers and working with players in partnership is what we understand as the next thing that we'll be doing under YONO 2.0. So happy to share some key learnings. During the course or during this journey, we realized that very important to have high aspirations, and most important to have the top management ownership. If there is something that has helped us succeed, it is number one and number two, the aspirations that our board had. We used to have our governance meeting every month. We were looking at how the developments of our products and journeys were panning out on a daily basis. There was a lot of governance created. There was a lot of interest. There was a lot of enthusiasm, everything by our top management, which helped us. And more significantly, together we were able to find those products or journeys which could actually improve productivity at branch, as well as help the customer in transactions, as well as in their requirements. And one thing that we continue to work on is the UI UX, because that's a space where we see a lot of activism and things changing very fast. And of course, the also required some changes in the way the approvals were sought, or the kind of the processes that we adopted. And most important was how to actually carry everybody with us, because huge projects like these require the buy-in from all stakeholders. And especially when one wants to look ahead of the curve, it's very important that that buy-in comes early. And many times internally, the internal marketing or internally getting our teams aligned requires a lot of engagement, a lot of dialogue, a lot of programs. And that's how we went about it. We had to do things the right way, and we had to do things fast. This is how we had to create that kind of internal energy, which came thanks to the kind of support, as well as the ownership and the directions of our top management. Thank you for a patient hearing, and I do hope this was enjoyable and informative.
Thanks very much, Vidya. Indeed, it was very informative and useful. The numbers were simply staggering, and to manage such a big operation with so many people, indeed, it would have been, a great challenge, and the results that, are coming through are quite staggering, and it really shows that you all have got your act really spot on in this, and playing a catalytic and a leadership role in India in driving digital for all your customers as well as for the nation. I think the time is right now to, on the back of those three excellent presentations, for us to move on to a Q&A. So now in TCB, what are your current major focuses in the process of digitalization, recent times, and what you have basically in the pipeline?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your question. I think we basically focus on the 4 areas. One is to reshape the culture. As I introduced in my presentation, we like to reshape the innovation culture for our employees. And also, we would like to strengthen our technology framework because, as also mentioned in the presentation, we use the RPA, robotic process automation, to streamline our operation procedures and reduce the employees' workload and the cost, and actually increase our effective competitiveness. And the third, maybe we emphasize the collaboration. The cross-departmental collaboration is very important because we wish that all the units can cooperate together so to make the thing more perfectly done. And lastly, we will continue to accelerate the technology investment and optimize the existing foundations and system and platforms. I think the basic is 4 areas we are focusing in our digitalization process.
Mr. Kadin, you alluded to, several challenges that you faced as a small nation, whether it was to do with the vendors, the fintechs, and, the extent to which you do your, digital, how do you kind of onboard your customers, some of the, negative connotations that were attached, how do you manage your human capital? How do you go about addressing some of these in your journey to digitally transform as you have a plan to make significant progress over the next 5 years?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think it's a very pertinent question that I have been personally trying to ask and then get answers from different areas. As we prepare our journey towards getting more digital services onboarded onto the banking platform, the most important thing that we are considering is in terms of building our HR capacity or the people's confidence and capacity to work on these areas, because we are thinking that if we have skilled and competent people to take us through, and the other resources could be managed definitely in a better way. So that is our personal belief, and for that we are seriously trying to collaborate with few of our vendors to train our people to see how we can partner together and then build the services along with the people. And when we try to look at, I think there are a few challenges that we are confronted with. One is in terms of HR, one is in terms of the actual infrastructure that we have in place, including the whole country's preparedness on how we can really facilitate these digital services. And when it comes to the policy level, we are trying to discuss with our regulator, we are trying to discuss with our government, and then see how we can make this work seamless together for all of us, for the whole ecosystem in the country. And in terms of I think the infrastructure, government is again, we are also working closely with government on how we can build the seamless database or data source of the country, so that we get easy access to all the data source required to onboard our clients seamlessly and easily. So these are the areas that we are working towards digitizing or going into the digital transformation of the country and the bank.
Thanks so much, Mr. Kadin. Ms. Krishnan, if I could move on to you. You made it sound very easy for such a giant country and a big bank, but I'm sure along the way there would have been challenges in terms of onboarding your staff, onboarding customers, and in terms of how do you manage such a project of this magnitude in such a large organization? Do you like to kind of, take us through? I'm sure it will help us to see how we can manage some of it in small institutions like ours.
Sure, thank you so much. Yes, actually, as I said, we are a 216-year-old bank, and it's really not possible to extrapolate the kind of banking that we've been doing through our physical channels entirely to say digital channels. The kind of risks that emanate in physical banking is a little different from what happens in digital. So skills, first of all, how do you get people to understand this? So one way of doing it is to actually get people from outside, specialists from the market. But again, for them also, it takes some time to kind of mix up and work with the existing workforce, which has more of a legacy thinking. So the top management effort and focus really helped us in doing that. And we had very, very elaborate change management programs also actually running concurrently. In fact, we started both together. We created special committees to, kind of bypass some of the bureaucratic processes that we had, brought like-minded people together, and also kind of approach this more with a self-directed effort, which is much more than what we would otherwise possibly put in our normal banking. There was a lot of learning, and more than the learning, there was a lot of unlearning for ourselves, and there was a lot of unlearning that we had to get others also to do. So we created squads, and another program that we did was train the trainers. So we would train as many people as possible, and that's how we reached out. And then we ran campaigns. We also had to, after rolling out our products, we also had to check whether these products were working. So we had formed a very large, user testing group, a closed user group, and we used to roll out campaigns for them with some kind of rewards and some recognition. So this is how we managed the whole process of change. This was a change that was required in the mindsets. As far as technology was concerned, also we had to get new tools. As we said, we had to get a whole new stack. So as a traditional bank, we really had to dip into expert views, like we had to engage with Gartner and so many others to kind of get the right sizing as well as the right technology. So we did put in a lot of effort, but very happy that it's paid off. And as I said, now we are really confident that we will be embarking on 2.0.
I'm going to stay with you, Ms. Krishnan. There is another question from the audience, and this is coming to you, Vidya, which is, what are SBI's strategies and tools to improve branch productivity? You alluded to a stack, etc., but is there anything more you want to allude to in terms of this question and branch productivity?
Sure. So one thing that we did is that we are a legacy bank that, we adopted core banking solutions much earlier. And now with YONO, we tried to use it on the same platform, that is extended a branch interface to create a seamless and omni-channel experience. Not only that, also to ensure that there is a uniformity in service, as well as we are able to go to market fast. So it was about the selection of the right technology that could work both, or a stack that could work for a web solution, for a mobile solution, as well as for our branches. So that was one of the ways we did it. And the other interventions as far as branch productivity was concerned was through this change management. In fact, the change management processes that we employed, or the kind of programs that we employed, were more towards retooling, reskilling our workforce at the branches. So to some extent, we were enterprise ready, that we didn't have to make too many changes. And it was a selection of our technology that worked right for us. But of course, technology becomes obsolete very fast, and there are disruptions. So again, we are looking at how we should revamp and look at the whole new universe that's emerging in a very, very different kind of an ecosystem.
So true. And also for an organization like you, when you have got to keep changing technology, I would think the costs are that much more significant. Wouldn't you say so, Ms. Krishnan?
That's very true, sir. You have to spend a lot of time on the drawing board, because nobody wants to reuse, we would all love to reuse assets, not more for the cost part of it as much as the pains of migration, data migration, etc. So it's a very calibrated, it's a very conscious and a well thought out decision. So, and the best part is that none of us is alone, and we take these decisions as a committee together, which is a wonderful thing, that the bank always practices. So that really helps.
Thanks so much. I'm going to come back to you shortly, but if I could move back to Dr. Paul Lei. Doctor, with all the work that you're doing in digitalizations, your product development, and your channel development, how does TCB deal with the cyber security, information security issue, and give confidence to your customer that this area is taken care of?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your question. Indeed, since the cyber attacks are revolving day after day, so whether financial institutions can meet the information security requirements has become a key factor, whether digital financial services can be accepted by the customers. And TCB, we have done two major things to ensure the cybersecurity. First, we establish an independent information security department in 2018 to deal with the IT and network management. And also, I think the department has built a solid network protection, IT, and such as the resilient DDoS protection services to blockade the DDoS attacks and ransomware attacks. And in order to provide our customers with financial services, will be safe, convenient, and uninterrupted in the event of security incidents. Secondly, we try to embed security and privacy in all our products and platforms. That's basically what we do in dealing with the cyber security problems. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Paul. if I could move on to Mr. Dorji Kadin, despite the challenges and some of the limitations, what are the factors that still motivate you and inspire you to continue with your digital transformation drive?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sorry, I was in the mute mode initially. I realized this just now. I think what is motivating us to keep pursuing with this digital transformation is mainly we feel that this is the future, and if we don't do this, I think of course, in terms of size compared to the international banks and other regional banks, we are very small. But the country itself is small, but relative to the Bhutanese context, I think we are still the largest bank and the biggest with the biggest presence in the country. And if we don't pursue this dream, probably will be left behind by our competitors, and then we don't want to be seen as that. We don't want to be seen as not being efficient enough to meet the demands of our clients. So that is one of the main drivers that we see that we should be pursuing. And on top of that, the government is also in this similar drive mode where we are trying to, or the government is trying to digitize all the services. And it is, I think, the right time for BOB also to pursue the similar aspiration to digitize all our services, so that we can see the benefits very soon in terms of providing the most convenient services to our clients, and also trying to get more into data analytics to understand the actual requirements and needs of our people. So basically these are the driving. And again, I think in the similar line with these kind of motivation from the government as well as the bank, we are also seeing development in terms of the infrastructure itself. Like telcos are gearing towards introducing 5G services in the country, and they have already started. And that could probably again help the banks or help the clients to get more reliable and efficient data services, whereby it is going to again help us to promote our digital services to our clients. So these are the main drivers or factors that I see that or I personally see as the main driving forces for us to keep on continuing with these kind of initiatives.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dorji Kadin. A similar question, Vidya, to what was asked from Dr. Paul, coming from the audience. I would really greatly appreciate your input on this one. With the era of digitalization, how do your bank handles the transaction monitoring, fraud prevention, detection, to fight the rampant issues, problems relating to cyber security? Do you want to come in on that, Vidya?
Yeah, sure. So we process around 400 million transactions per day, 400 to 500 on an average, which is around 12,000 transactions per second. So that's the level. So as much as Mr. Dorji had said that, they have a very good information security practice. So we also have a very, very good information security practice. So before we embark on anything, we need to get an in-principle approval from them. They'll vet whether the architecture is right, whether whether our integrations are all proper, whether we have put in the right security in place. And this is done once before we start, as well as once just before we roll out our products and journeys. So that is one thing. And for transactions, we have a transaction monitoring system, a large transaction monitoring system called as a PRM, which keeps on analyzing through AI/ML tools. And we take the alerts thrown by these tools very, very seriously. Even if they are false positives, we take them very seriously, because it's a part of continuous learning of these tools. And we create all kinds of alerts. These tools create lots of alerts, and then we keep on analyzing and see, so we can preempt transaction-related frauds. So the combination of ensuring the partnerships are right and the integrations are right, as well as this kind of transaction monitoring, helps us in dealing with frauds.
Thanks so much. Many thanks. Dr. Paul Lei, you spent a lot of time talking about your labs, your co-creation, working with your teams. You also heard Vidya talking about change management and, getting people on board. How important is culture transformation and mindset change in making sure that you get you have your digital transformation journey on track?
Yes, I think the mindset is very important. That's why we keep emphasizing the culture. We need to accept the new technology, and we know that technology is the one thing that we can actually give us some advantages. I mean the comparative advantage to other companies. So that's why we wish our employees to learn more about these new technologies. So we also organize the, as I mentioned, the core inspiring camp, which a lot of my employees can get together and come up with some innovative ideas. As I mentioned in the presentation, actually we did obtain more than 360 patents in our government's intellectual properties. So I think that's very important, that we have to know that our employee know that culture, innovation culture is very important. And the other thing is, according to research from the McKinsey, it says that unclear planning, goals, and strategy normally will be the major reason for company cannot be successful in the transformation. So that's why we form a digital business committee to do the top-down decisions to determine the clear goals and planning and the strategies for the bank. So then we can go in the same direction that will be helpful in our digitalization process. Thank you.
So important, doctors. Like yours, we too have got digital committees at the board level, at senior management level, and then we've got the various labs that actually, and we keep on, get this idea hub to generate ideas to, in order to co-create with our staff to make them part of it. Excellent. Doctor, from you, I like to move back to Ms. Krishnan. Given the again the size of the country and with the amount, India is almost kind of leading in this area in terms of digitalization. What kind of initiatives, if you take your Aadhaar card I mean, the things that have been done around it, it has made things so, that digital identity is so convenient for all. And some of us are actually struggling to do that. But my question is a little broader than the Aadhaar card in terms of what digital innovations are on the horizon, which are appealing to, let's say, customers. So fintechs are working on it. And, banks are keen to get on board. And as a leader in the industry, how is SBI responding to those innovations?
Sure. So if there are some things, as I said, as part of our 2.2 program, is to actually increase our integrations or rather associations with these fintechs. That is one. And otherwise, as far as transactions is concerned, you did speak about Aadhaar. So there is a whole world, of banking around identity, banking around data that's emerging in India. So we are one of the early banks, that have got onto the account aggregator ecosystem. We now have the democratization of commerce to the ONDC. We have the UPI. We have the direct debit transfers, benefit transfers, so the DBT. So all banks play a very important role in this outreach program of the government. And beyond this, as the ecosystem and the businesses expand, we also want to go ahead and have a very vibrant API banking practice, concepts such as the banking as a service, and new innovative tools through a software factory that we have set up. This is how we believe that we'll be able to play a very, very important role. I did speak about the small and medium enterprises, bringing them into the formal economy, and all this will happen through the process of digitization. We also have so there are lots of initiatives that have been initiated by the government of India. We have the e-rupee, where you create small wallets. And there was another project by the government on health, where the vaccination, the charges towards the vaccination could be sponsored through the payment platform. So we've all been part of all these exercises. And so we do believe that going forward, India will be very interesting for bankers.
Indeed, I have no doubt about that at all, Vidya. There was a question that just came in. I kind of think you answered it because it was alluding to, can one of you talk more about financial inclusion? And you spoke about, Agri, you spoke about SME and the microfinance initiatives, and, that your organization has pursued or is pursuing. So I can see that it's pretty much an important area in your agenda, given that, you and us, we do a lot of work in this space in order to make sure that the grassroots level and the rural economies stay vibrant and continue to contribute, but at the same time that we provide them the same digitalization and the conveniences, instead of the inconveniences associated with cash and long travel to distant branches, etc.
Yes, that's true. That's very true. And we do see opportunities in agriculture with farmers, especially on the advisory front, on the commerce front, and especially with the very robust interoperable payment platform. Commerce is going to benefit the most. And our bank does have an SME focus, that is a small and medium enterprise. We have a lot of products, both digital and otherwise, for on the lending side. I did speak about our pre-approved business loans. So for customers who have accounts with us, we will be able to offer them pre-approved business loans. And with payments do offer a lot of data. So the data that is generated through UPI, the data that is generated through the proprietary transactions happening through the bank helps us provide better products to our customers, and that's what we are looking forward to going ahead.
Just want a clarification. YONO is a standalone, separate bank altogether, or it's part of SBI? It's the mobile and the wallet application of SBI.
So it is very much a part of SBI. It is not a standalone bank, and YONO operates at all three levels. That is the self-service platform, the web, as well as the branch. That's how we created an omni-channel experience for onboarding. So the platform also supports a lot of innovations as well as integrations with partners, like products like the Magento, etc. So that's how. That's the reason why we speak about YONO as the most happening thing in the bank. But the bank does also have the traditional banking. YONO is a part of this, but has enabled us to look beyond and look at more modern and innovative platforms and solutions.
The fact that YONO has got its web application, the YONO business, etc., it lends itself beautifully to do value chain, supply chain, distributor as well, yes, which captures all your SMEs and micro as well.
Yes. So the part of the YONO is also the supply chain finance. Part of YONO business is supply chain finance as well as e-trade, as well as the traditional liquidity management products or cash management products. So all this comes under the ambit of our YONO business, which is for both corporates and for SMEs.
Thank you so much. I just want to remind the audience that we are nearing the end. We just got a few minutes, just 2-3 minutes left. So I'd like to see your final questions coming in so that we could do the last round with the panelists. Maybe I can open this to this question from the audience to anybody. Maybe Dr. Paul Lei, do you want to have a stab at it, or even Vidya? With the era of digitalization, how did your bank handle the customer management, specifically on new issues that requires enhanced due diligence due to sudden change in customer transaction behavior, which something like Vidya was alluding to her AIML, we would probably detect?
Actually, the system of AML, anti-money laundering system, can actually monitor this kind of certain increased transactions of our customers. So we will understand that and detect that and then try to do something with that. Yeah.
Would it be the same for you as well? You were referring to AIML, Ms.
Yeah.
Krishnan, and that is artificial intelligence driven money laundering. Yes. Right. So you put a lot of AI into it.
Right.
And beyond that, it is also important that we continuously engage with our customers and educate them about the kind of new ways of cyber fraud, where many times the customer becomes a party to the fraud voluntarily, not knowing that, you know, we have these issues around wishing and phishing, etc. Wishing much more, where customers do not know they are made to kind of reveal their credentials, etc., which are then misused by fraudsters and tricksters. So for this, we have our regulators, that is the Reserve Bank of India, also comes out with booklets to educate our customers and consumers on good banking and safe banking. and banks also do their bit. So I think it's a concerted effort by the whole banking ecosystem to fight these kind of menaces that we see increasing in the digital systems. But I think over a period of time, customers will understand that how convenience, they don't need to pay that cost for the convenience, and that they'll be able to safeguard their balances or their funds or their data, and yet do very safe self-serve banking.
There is one more question that has come, and probably with this, we can slowly look at winding up. How do you do your monitoring of your payment transactions like ATM, merchant, mobile, and make sure it's secure? Would the previous answer kind of address it using AML, etc., or some of these self-service devices, etc., have got different mechanisms for checks and balances?
So there are also prescriptions around the whole security and the architecture that needs to be deployed. So there is a baseline or a base level itself, which is very stringent. And banks can have their own policies on top of this to make it, to take into account any kind of specific risks that they feel they face. So for transactions, we do have methods like encryption, whether it is a channel or the data, etc. So that that is one level of security that we offer for the digital channels. And also for the customers, we have a very a unique thing that possibly came from India as the second factor authentication, where you get a kind of a dynamic code or an OTP, which has to be applied for ratifying a transaction. So we are discovering new ways of securing transactions, and it's work in process. But the second factor authentication has been a big change, and that really has helped.
Thanks so much. Maybe Dr. Paul or Mr. Kadin, you'll want to have a go at this. With the nature of the macro environment changing drastically, leading clients as well as bank needing to decipher the new normal, how much does your bank infrastructure depend on artificial intelligence? Or do you think the technology is still too nascent to adapt at this moment?
Yes, Chairman, I think we need to adapt to the rapid changes of the environment. So actually the digital transformation is very important. And we will try to modernize our infrastructure and the application technologies, and try to keep up with the changing environments. So AI is very important, and also the cloud computing technology is also important. So that's all what we the bank are actually looking at, and try to accelerate our construction of the infrastructures. Yes.
We have already passed time, and I think it's also time to sort of close on our plenary session 1. And maybe I'll just take a couple of minutes before I actually thank our wonderful speakers who also turned panelists and then gave us some wonderful exposure experience with their answers and some information which we can use. But in terms of closing remarks, I hope, Teresa, I have got a couple of minutes more. Yeah. Yeah. So as you can see, there is very good reason why digitalization is a top priority my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, for banking. When done correctly, it enables paradigm shifting improvements in customer experience and accessibility. For the average customer, it means they're able to utilize the full range of your and my products and services seamlessly. The word was used quite often through the platform of their choice, where Dr. Paul was ending saying of my use of platforms. So therefore, when it comes to digitalization, there is no room, as you could see, for half measures. To succeed, you have to take an all-in approach. Typically, digitalization begins with physical investments as their first consideration. Installing new systems, upgrading legacy systems, and building new infrastructure capacity is, of course, crucial. But as you heard from our speakers, organizational culture, the team, mindset changes, change management, proper PMO, and the culture transformation, ultimately that's what either makes or breaks a digital transformation. Therefore, it's not just enough for you and me to simply act digital. We need to be thinking digital. Just because you're able to set up a facade and where customer interfaces are digital internally, and you're still running paper files and your people are not engaged with the systems that you have already set up, then seamless, frictionless digital experiences become next to impossible. And this is where, in your journey towards increasing customer centricity, you have to continuously invest in technology that brings greater understanding and responsiveness to the need of our customers. We need to take a holistic view towards our products and services, and we must be aggressive in establishing the necessary technological infrastructure to adapt the new capabilities across our organizations. The only rule is that it must effectively serve the needs of our customers. Ladies and gentlemen, by a combination of, combining automation, artificial intelligence, as was mentioned, robotic process automation, digital analysis, digital science, analytical tools, and other emerging technologies, banks can offer digital financial assistance to facilitate seamless and frictionless transactions. For our customers, the results will be greater convenience, value, and security. So, what is it that we want to achieve in our digital transformation? I've just kind of trying to wrap up in terms of, what I have picked through in terms of an ABCD. Basically, from the customer's point of view, anytime, any place, and any channel. This is what customers expect, whether they are retail banking customers, high net worth investors, or corporate customers. Their expectations are banking on their terms. In the B, it's better banking, beyond the traditional banking service, using customers' data to become a virtual advisor, helping customers to make better financial and commercial discussions. In C is the contextual nature, the service, the communication, the product proposition, the UI UX that you provide in your omni channels to meet customer expectation needs to be driven by data and analytics and to be personalized to meet their requirements. The combination of this ABC, ladies and gentlemen, actually leads you to kind of evaluate whether you have the need to look at a separate digital bank, or like the YONO is, positioned within SBI, supporting those standalone customers, the SBI customers and the branch fully integrated is that the kind of model that you actually need to be looking at? So in terms of the future readiness is what we have been talking, and that's the theme as well in terms of our overarching theme for the 4 days. The future ready digital proposition, the future ready digital bank looks at, we need to be digital to the core. We must be part of the customer journey. We must transform ourselves into a startup and start thinking like a startup and less like a bank if we want to be truly digital. And what does it mean by being kind of digital to the core? Building resilience with our infrastructure, organizing ourselves for success, moving from project to platform, as was mentioned, developing high-performing agile teams, automating as much as we can, and designing modern systems, reducing costs, increasing resilience and scalability with our systems, reducing time to market, extending our coverage, our ecosystem, and being more customer-centric in all this. Investing in people and skills is paramount in doing all of this, and without which, already mentioned, it's very difficult to move on to the next areas. Being part of the customer journey, which was the second part, is extending your service excellence, making banking invisible, relooking at your customer journeys, for example, pertaining to your mentioned point of sale, ATM, cards, frauds, security, removing the friction that exists in the client's customer journey, making him a compelling a reason to come and visit you rather than the nearest other bank or nearest other digital intervention. Employee journeys, my dear ladies and gentlemen, are as important as the client journey. It's very important that you're with the client journey, but if you have not, made life easy for your employees, you have not taken into account the automation that you can do for them, and you still expect them to do loads and loads of work while you actually could have, made it easy. Get rid of repeat processes, RPA them, manual checking of reports, bring in AI, get some of these things done on RPA. So such areas need to be reimagined, redesigned, automated, migrated to RPA, AI-like processes so that your staff who remain with you will actually embrace the digital journey, because in that it gives them a completely new opportunity to look at sales and advisory and more, specialized banking rather than the usual, day-to-day processes. So I hope that the audience found this session useful. I found it useful, participating in it. I want to take this opportunity, to thank profusely and wholeheartedly Dr. Paul Chung-Dar Lei, Mr. Dorji Kadin, and Ms. Vidya Krishnan for their exceptional presentations and for their fantastic participation in the Q&A. Thank you, lady and gentlemen. With that, Teresa, I'd like to hand the controls back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Alice, for your encouraging and inspiring words. And on behalf of the ABA, we wish to express our sincere appreciation to all our session 1 speakers and Mr. Alice for chairing the session and for participating in today's conference. Thank you once again, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Thank you.
Very much. Have a good day.
Thank you very
Bye-bye.
much.
Thank you.